getting wealth? What are the principles of wealth? Now, somebody said, well, how do you know anything about that? When you start with nothing, then that means you have to have a plan in order to gain wealth. And so we want to talk about wealth here on Action Coaching on today. Encourage you to get your iPad, your phone, take notes, because this definitely is going to be a blessing to you. Did you not know that we're just only about 50 years removed from when African Americans really started to become wealthy? And although we have a few that are wealthy now, and people that are making more money than they ever made before, there's still a long way to go. And so we got to talk about wealth during this time. Now, what are the principles of wealth? How does one become wealthy? Well, my first point is you got to make the wealth choice. Now, I know that sounds simple, but it's really not simple, because so many people let their head be full of so many choices that they never focus them down on one choice. You see a lot of people, if you read about a lot of people who are billionaires now, ultimately what made them billionaires is not the thing that they started on. They had to have a place to start to create wealth, and ultimately it allowed them to be wealthy in so many other areas. So it's all about choosing. It's all about making the choice. As I talk to a lot of people when I counsel them sometime, and then especially I talk to the younger generation, and I said, well, what have you chose to do? And they'll throw out 15 or 20 things that I've chosen to do this, I've chosen to do that, I've chosen to do this. Now you can do a lot of things, but what is the one thing that's going to give you the ability and the latitude to make other choices later on down the line? So wealth has to be a choice. Dreams and focus and vision are powerful. But if you don't make a choice, then you're already defeating yourself before you start. Now, how did I choose? What methods did I use? Well, it simply boiled down to one major thing for me. What do you do best? Usually that's where your wealth gonna come from. Now, I know a lot of people say they do a lot of things good, and they do them and they equivalent them as being something that they do everything good, but that ain't the truth. They do one thing good. They do one thing good, and it's allowed them to spring into a whole lot of other things. But it's the one thing that they do good, that's their passion, that drives you, that make you get up each and every morning, because that one thing that you do good. Whether it's writing, whether it's sewing, whether it's real estate, whether it's inventing different inventions, whatever it is, there's one thing that you are gifted to do. It's amazing the world is set up that way. Apple doesn't come here saying that their gift is to be an orange, because obviously Apple is not going to be an orange. That's not their gift. Orange have different qualities and different properties, and it tastes different from an apple. But however, from an apple, you can get apple juice, you can get apple pie, you can get apple jelly, you can get a host of things, apple cider. And all kind of things that can come from just the apple being the apple. And that's the way it is in life. So if you're going to maintain and gain wealth, you have got to make a choice. When you look around at some of the richest families in America, quote unquote, now, the billionaires, you can tell who the billionaires are because they go by one name, like Rockefeller, or Kennedy's, or DuPont, or Steve Jobs, or anybody, Bill Gates. You know, they just said Bill. You know, they go by one name and it's based upon their wealth. But the bottom line is, it's the one thing that gave them the ability to leap into so many other things. And when you look behind the scenes, you will begin to see how many hours and days and weeks that they had to put into making that one thing good. So number one, gotta be a choice. And I'm just going to pause right there. Don't you think it's about time you choose and quit going around talking about you want to do 50 different things and don't accomplish any of them? Perhaps you were like me. When I first went to college, of course, you're thinking going to college that, you're going to learn all these classes and you're going to graduate from college. But however, when we went as a freshman, we went into what they call a guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor asked a question, said, well, what are you coming to college for? And I thought about it. I didn't know what I was coming to college for. They just said go to college. I never had any goals. They just said, just go to college, get an education. But then I found I had to make a choice on something. Now, during that time, a lot of us, of course, we picked the major or the career path that was easiest for us to get a college degree, not because we were interested in it, not because we'd ever do it, just what are the easy classes that we can get out of college and have a degree. And so many times when people try to be wealthy, they all look for the easy way to be wealthy. But I want you to know there is no easy way to be wealthy, which leads me to my second point. In order to be wealthy, you're going to have to be willing to work hard. Point number 2, hard work. If you're not willing to work hard at your dream, at your vision, you will never be able to attain wealth. When I started out, I thought that I could achieve certain things and still enjoy the things that I was enjoying. I wanted to go to the parties in the club and hang out with my friends. And then after I did all of that, then I'd come back and try to work on what I felt would make me wealthy. And eventually I found out that, you know, if I was going to be successful, I had to be willing to put in the hard work. And so consequently, I had to give up all of the parties and all of the friends and all of the things that were distracting me from my ultimate goal of being wealthy. So wealth is going to take hard work. If you are not willing to work hard, you are not going to be wealthy. So you need to get that in your head now. There is no easy road to success. Success comes about with hard work. And so you got to have the mindset to know that you are going to have to work hard. So now we covered 2 of them. You know, you got to make the wealth choice. Then the second thing you got to understand is going to take hard work. Now, what's number 3? Let's talk about number 3. We got the wealth choice, we got the hard work. Now number 3 is, are you willing to do the research? Yes, the research. You got to find out more information about what you endeavor to go in. Now we're going to deal with research some more when I come back. But remember, we left off with the research. and I'll be back to talk to you.
I want you to keep in mind that waiting on God, as I said, and wait is hard. I said that from the beginning because we go through the meantime, in the meantime, and I indicated that we're a microwave generation, society. We want everything real fast. But we have to be grateful to God that God will give us what we're able to handle at the time that God deemed necessary or find that is best. And if He feels that we can't handle it, because God knows, He knows everything. He knows what we're going to contend with in the future. I think about had I not waited, or God not allowed me to wait before getting married, I probably would have caused my own marriage to be destroyed.
I left off talking about concerning wealth, about the research. Now, whatever your dream, your vision, or your gift, you need to find out more about that particular field. If a person is going to be a medical doctor, they don't spend half their time studying farming. They spend all of their time learning as much as they can about medicine. If a person is going to be a pilot, person that fly airplanes, they don't spend their time understanding how to drive tanks. They learn as much as they can about flying airplanes. Because the more you know, the more you research, the more it will help you be prepared for every situation that you might face. Really, a lot of times, success and failure depends on the wisdom that you have accumulated. I've learned that even in the ministry. So many times when people get in the ministry, they think that just learning the Bible is enough. But there are a whole lot of other things that go with learning the Bible in order for one to be successful in the ministry. And there are things that you must do before you prepare to gain your wealth. Now, I know wealth in the ministry is something people don't like to talk about. For some reason, people feel that if you're in a church or if you're a minister, you should not be wealthy. But yet everybody around you trying to be wealthy and everybody else in the world trying to be wealthy. So why doesn't it apply to everybody if they can be wealthy? It's not being wealthy that's a crime or a sin or a problem. Maybe how people use the wealth, that can be an issue. But being wealthy, God wants all of us to be wealthy. He created us that we be wealthy. He created potential in us for wealth. Everything God put in us is about growing. And each and every day, each and every week, we're reminded that we are beings created to be wealthy and not only to have more than enough. So we have to understand the research. We have to understand sometimes before you just run out and start something, you need to research it. I know patience is not at an all-time high in the age that we're living in. Think about it. We pull up at the drive-in, in the drive-in, we order in one place, and we expect when we move the car around 15 or 50 feet or so, pay for it, move another 20 feet, we expecting a hot meal to be ready, and we ain't got no time to wait because we ordered our food 1 minute and we want it ready the next minute. Well, wealth ain't like that. You have to learn. You have to learn about the things that you are going to invest your time and your talent in. So it's important that you do research. Learn everything about it, because if you're a person that know everything, chances are you're the person that don't know anything. You ever seen somebody know everything? Yeah, I know you have. I have too. And we find out they don't know anything. But you need to learn. You need to research. Now, let's talk about number 4. We've talked about the wealth choice. We've talked about the hard work. We've talked about learning, getting knowledge. Even the scripture, the Bible tells us wisdom is the principal thing. To know how to do something is going to be important. And let's talk about number 4 in this last segment. This might be all of the time I had. You gotta be focused. Now, it's not easy to be focused because everything around you is full of so many distractions. So here's a rule I add to my life concerning focus. If what I am paying attention to, does it take wealth away from me or does it add wealth to me? I'll say that again. Whatever you focus on, does it take wealth away from you or does it add wealth to you? Sometimes you can have friends that the minute you say, I got to go to work, they telling you, call in. You know, you can take a day off. You don't have to go to the job all of the time. Well, it ain't hurting their money. It's hurting your money. Shouldn't you have friends that tell you, man, I understand. I got to go to work too. I got to maintain what I do. I got to keep moving on up the road. But there are a lot of things that'll come to distract you, take you off focus. And when you lose focus, chances are you're going to mess up. So focus is important, but focus is a learned behavior. It's not a given behavior. It is a learned behavior. And if a person want to be wealthy, they have got to stay focused. Or as they used to say some time earlier, and I'll say it again, you got to learn to keep the main thing the main thing. Now, when you've accomplished that and you're gaining wealth, then you will be able to focus on other things. Focus is necessary. It's not given, it's learned. And you have to practice being focused. So focus is key. I've learned to focus on my goal and my vision. I don't want to be anything else other than focus on my purpose. And see, when you learn to be focused, then you're on your way to success. When you talk to a lot of people who are successful, one of the things they always gonna bring up is the necessity of staying focused. And when you stay focused, you grow stronger. You can achieve anything when you stay focused on it, because focus gives you power too. It helps you understand what you got to spend most of your time on. So focus is necessary. I believe we're living in a time where wealth is all around us. There are so many opportunities for wealth, but a lot of people don't have it because they don't practice the principles to gain wealth. Years ago, I read a book by an author named Paul James Pearson, and he wrote a book entitled Unlimited Wealth. And he talked about how that there's wealth all around us. And it is. Wealth is all around us. There's so many things that we use every day that people have become wealthy from. Think of just the normal things. When you do it, like socks, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, simple things, necessary things to us, but yet there are factories created from those simple things. There are millions and millions of dollars that are made from those simple things. So to let you know that wealth is all around us, but we've got to learn that wealth is power, and God wants us to have wealth. So, we've been talking about this wealth. This is a time that we are going to experience wealth. because we cannot establish anything unless we have wealth. The Bible even says money answereth all things. And yes, the wealth moves and shakes the world. If we do not have wealth, it is very difficult to move certain people. So let's get about the business of gaining our wealth, and I'll be back to talk to you.
But I've started teaching my boys. I've started telling them at an early age, you can do anything. It ain't nothing you can't do. I don't want you to ever say, I can't do it. There are no limits on your life. While everybody else saying I can't do it, I want you to say I can do all through Christ that strengtheneth me. There's a power at work on the inside that won't let me quit, that won't let me give up. There are no, hallelujah. I've got to close, but high five somebody and say there are no limits. I'm here to let you know, in 2000, we getting ready to run. There are great things in store for God's supernatural people. Those that walk in the Spirit gonna have supernatural power. All of you that don't want to go with the program, am I right about it? Can we say yes? Come on and say yes.
Certainly, I appreciate you being a part of Action Coaching on tonight, and I trust that you've been blessed by the things that I've shared with you. I certainly want to encourage you before I go to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching so that we can expand our coaching network and do bigger and better things to help more people reach their potential. So I want to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous offering of support for Action Coaching so that we can continue not only to help others, but to come to you each and every week. Now there's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways that you can sow onto Action Coaching, and it will be a blessing to us, and it will allow us to continue to expand Action Coaching and offer you even more things. So I certainly want to encourage you to avail yourself to all of the ways that are in my link to give to Action Coaching. We thank you for your gift. We appreciate you taking time with us. We certainly want to ask you to encourage others to join Action Coaching so that they too can be blessed. Before I leave you, I want to encourage you, First Lady will be on Friday with More Than Life. You need to join her. She has an exciting word for you, and it's going to be a great program. So make sure you join the First Lady. And of course, on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., we're sending a great word in action word to you that will change your life. So make sure you join us and be a part of these upcoming events. Now, before I leave you on today, I know that the vaccines have been ramped up in our society, and that certainly they are encouraging people to get the vaccine. I know that some people are against the vaccine, but the issue is, it's not so much about yourself, it's about you have to help protect others also. And in light of helping protect others, you protect yourself. So do what you need to do. Make sure that you protect not only yourself, but others. And we will continue moving forward because the time is coming, and it's not too far away, that we will be able to physically join and greet one another once again. And we want to do everything we can to speed up that process. Well, the Lord bless you. I certainly enjoyed talking to you. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you share the word with a friend, and keep the word in action.